Good morning, class. Today we're going to work on another reading procedure. We're going to reread the story that we read yesterday, only this time we're going to work on making connections and asking questions about the story. Before we start, I want to remind you of some of our reading procedures. First, we sit crisscross applesauce on our pockets. Second, if you have a question, you hold up the finger and number 1. If you have the answer to a question, you hold up the number 2 because that shows me that you want to answer a question that your friend has asked. And if you want to make a connection to something that happened in the story, you hold up all 5 fingers, and that lets me know that you have a connection to make. We're going to re-look at the story, The Selfish Crocodile. And I know we read it yesterday. I think you guys really enjoyed it because I heard a lot of giggles out in the crowd. But today, I really want to focus on asking questions, so we're really only going to be using our number 1. Or if you have a connection to make, you can also hold up 5 fingers. So let's start. The Selfish Crocodile. Wow, you know, this word crocodile has a lot of syllables in it, it sounds like to me. Can you guys help me figure out how many syllables are in it? Let's see if we can clap it together, okay? Crocodile. Crocodile. Can anyone tell me how many syllables are in crocodile? 4. That's exactly right. There's 4 syllables. Crocodile. Wow, that's a lot of syllables. I think this is another tricky word. Selfish. I want to be the first person to add a question to our question wall. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. What is selfish? And then tomorrow, we're going to come back to this book and we're going to see if we can answer any of the questions. So if you have the answer, just keep it tight and save it for tomorrow. In a river deep in the forest, there lived a large crocodile. He was a very selfish crocodile. He didn't want any other creature to drink or bathe in the river. He thought it was his river. Every day he shouted to the creatures of the forest, "Stay away from the river! It's my river! And if you come into my river, I'll eat you up." Wow, the crocodile's shouting, so he must be really angry. Can you guys help me read this in the way that the crocodile would shout? I'm going to say it first, and then when I point to you, I want you to repeat after me and make sure you're using your scariest shouting voice. Stay away from the river! Stay away from the river! It's my river! It's my river! And if you come into my river, I'll eat you up! I'll eat you up! Good job! You guys sounded really scary, just like the crocodile. So there were no fish, no tadpoles, no frogs, no crabs, no crayfish in the river. They were all afraid of the selfish crocodile. The forest creatures kept away from the river too. Whenever they were thirsty, they had to go for miles out of their way to drink in other rivers and streams. Wow, they had to walk a long way just because that crocodile was being really mean. Every day, the crocodile lay in the sun on his great big back, picking his big sharp teeth with a stick. Early one morning, the forest animals were awakened by a loud groaning sound. Something was in terrible pain. The creatures thought it must be an animal caught by the crocodile. But as the bright sun came out, they saw that it was the crocodile himself who was in pain. He was lying on his big back, holding his swollen jaw and crying real tears. What would you look like if you were in a lot of pain? Can you show me the face that you would make if you were in a lot of pain? That looks like that really hurt. The creatures drew closer, but not too close. Some of them felt kind of sorry for the crocodile. "What's the matter with him?" asked a deer. "I don't know," said a squirrel. "Maybe he's going to die," chirped a blackbird. "If that happens, it'll be safe to go into the river again," grunted a wild pig. I see somebody holding up a hand with a number 1, so that lets me know that you have a question. I kind of want to know that too. Why do you think the blackbird would be happy if the crocodile died? Let's add that to our list. good question. Maybe we'll find out the answer if we keep reading. The animals thought about it. They hung from branches, they peeked through the grass, they buzzed in the air. They shook their heads as they watched the great big crocodile, but no one tried to help. Suddenly, a little mouse appeared, sniffing the air. He ran along the crocodile's tail and then onto his stomach. The other creatures stared. Whisper to your neighbor what you think the mouse might be doing. Look at that mouse, chattered a monkey. He's either very brave or very crazy, growled a lion. He's going to be eaten for sure, said an iguana. The mouse crept along the crocodile's big neck and into his open mouth. There was a hush in the forest. That's a tricky word to me. I don't know what hush means, so I'm going to add that to our list of questions. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. The mouse took hold of something and pulled and pulled and pulled. Finally, he pulled it out, put it on his shoulder, and walked out of the crocodile's mouth. The astonished creatures began to cheer. Yay! The crocodile sat up and said, "The pain is all gone." Then he saw the mouse walking down his stomach, carrying an enormous crocodile tooth on his shoulder. "Your bad tooth was giving you a toothache," said the mouse, turning around to face the now smiling crocodile. "Do you want it back?" "Oh, no. Get rid of it, and when you're finished, come back. I have a present for you." The mouse buried the bad tooth under a tree, and when he returned, the crocodile had a nice, juicy nut waiting for him. As the crocodile watched the mouse eat his nut, he said, "You must be very smart if you can cure a toothache, and very kind, too. I'm so grateful. But what should I do if my toothache comes back?" "Don't worry, I'll help you take care of your teeth," answered the mouse, nibbling. Soon, the crocodile and the mouse were best friends. Wiggle your fingers if you have a best friend. It looks like everybody here seems to have a best friend. Not long after, the crocodile sent all the animals an invitation. "Please come to drink and bathe in the river. I won't hurt you. The river belongs to all of us." The creatures weren't afraid to drink and bathe in the river anymore. Although the crocodile was sometimes a little grumpy, they grew to love him. And soon the river was once again full of fish and tadpoles and frogs and crabs and crayfish. I kind of want to know, why did the crocodile decide it was okay for his friends to suddenly start swimming in the river? That's another question we're going to add. You guys did a great job asking questions today. So remember, tomorrow we're going to come back and we're going to answer our questions. So tonight you can go home and think about some of the things that we read and remember the questions and see if you have any answers. Great job today!